China's economic miracle made China rich. Now, its economic troubles will make you rich. Economic reforms that opened the nation to the world took a nation of peasants and turned it into the world's second richest nation. Through foreign investment, construction, and consumption, China was able to create the economic powerhouse it is today. But nothing lasts forever. Empires rise and fall, and economic fortunes always turn. What was once the nation's greatest assets are now quickly becoming liabilities. Foreign investment leaving by the tens of billions, cracks in the housing market, and an inability to build forever are dragging the Chinese economy down. With it, job creation and the ability to spend at sufficient levels to prop up the Chinese economy. For the first time in 50 years, the Chinese economy will fail to grow at a minimum of 5% of GDP year over year. This economic slowdown has caused the Chinese government to begin stimulating the economy through a series of stimulus packages aimed at stabilizing its housing market, stock market, and providing the people of China with cash payments. However, this stimulus cannot last forever, and that is your opportunity to get rich. If you're new here, my name is Ivan, and let's get right into it. Firstly, I want to start off by showing you what's possible. Now, these screenshots were taken from Discord by a trader named Crazy Tuna that multiplied his money by 25x, trading PDD, which is a Chinese company listed on the United States Stock Exchange. Now, as you can see, the screenshots that he took were at 2,300% gain, and he also did it with just one contract that he bought for $100. But you, in the future, and I'm going to show you how to do it, in the future, you could buy $1,000 worth of options contracts at $100 each, so it'll be 10 contracts. And when you eventually sell them for a 25% or for a 2,500% gain, that'll turn $1,000 into $25,000. Or you could turn $10,000 into $250,000. Now we're talking about getting rich. Okay, so right now we're going to focus on shares of PDD. And this strategy will really work with any of the other names, the China names, so Alibaba, JD.com, or BIDU. But I like PDD better because my brain just sees the price action move better. And also it fits with the example that I showed you earlier. So right now we're looking at a stock chart of PDD, and every single one of these candles represents one day. And so what I really want to focus on is earlier. So towards the middle of September, towards the end of September, we got this pump up, right? So we got this big green day, and then the following day was what is considered to be a mid-candle breakout pattern. So it was a candle that didn't break the high or didn't break the low of the previous day, and that is a really bullish candle. But what I really want you to focus on is the fact that this pump up, right? So this strength really came about because of China releasing its stimulus package that we discussed earlier in the video. So cash payments to people. PDD is a company that sells stuff in China. So it's really consumption heavy. It has other aspects of the business, but it mostly focuses on selling stuff, and people receiving money and having more money to spend was good for them. So it ran up, and in that run up, this netted that 2,500% gainer that we talked about earlier. But as we know, right now I'm going to switch over to the S&P 500, which is basically the United States stock market. And from experience, if you live in the United States of America over the last couple of years since the pandemic, you'll remember that the United States like sold off, and then the government in March released a stimulus package. And that stimulus package basically was the reason for a 2-year-long rally. So I can't tell you how long the Chinese are going to prop up their stock market, because I have no idea how long they're going to prop up their economy. But what I do know is that just like in the United States of America, sooner or later, the free money and the stimulus is going to run out. And when it does run out, just like here in the United States, look, the market went down when that free money ran out. And this is kind of hard to see, so I'm going to switch over to the weekly. So each candle is going to represent 1 week instead of 1 day, and you can see it better. So this is when the pandemic happened and the shutdowns and all that stuff, and like economic fears happened. And then in March, Donald Trump and Congress passed that stimulus package. And then over the next 2 years, they passed a total of 3 stimulus packages that were really big and gave people those stimulus checks and a lot of free money for businesses. And so that really propped up the stock market and the United States economy. But then in March of 2022, the Federal Reserve Bank started raising interest rates, and the stimulus packages and that free money stopped. And as you can see, the market sold off. It bounced a little bit and then it sold off some more. And what I really want to focus on are these sell-offs right here. Made people millions of dollars. Unequivocally, millionaires were created in that. So if we go back to, I'm going to switch over to the daily chart, then I'm going to switch over to PDD. So like I was saying earlier, this small move from 112 to basically 138, we'll just say 140 is a nice round number. So that was a $28 move, made a 25x return on investment. You could have took $1,000 and turned it into $25,000 or $10,000 and turned it into $250,000. And I want also to focus on this sell-off that PDD had because of their bad earnings. At least the market interpreted it as a bad earnings report. And so if we take the same example that we had from what happened to the United States stock market when the US government stopped stimulus, it sold off heavy. So if we were to get a similar sell-off, because sooner or later the Chinese government is going to have no choice but to stop propping up their economy. They're not going to have enough money to keep the free money flowing. And when that stops, all of this upward movement is going to unwind, and we're going to have a huge and a savage sell-off. And when we do, right, maybe you don't catch it perfectly, but let's say you get it at 140, and then you because you're going to be buying options puts, so option contracts, the put contracts, which is a little complicated, but there are plenty of videos on YouTube about it that you could go and you can look up how to trade options. I'll make a video in the future, but for right now, I just want to focus on the overall strategy. And so that move from 140 to $88 could 50x your account. You could take $1,000 and turn it into $50,000 in 3 days, because remember, each one of these candles is 1 day. So right now, I can't tell you. We've sold off a little bit because the stimulus packages, so China just released a second stimulus package and it was underwhelming, so it kind of sold off a little bit. I can't tell you when the free money is going to stop. I can't tell you when China is going to stop giving people money and stop the stimulus. But what I do know is that if you keep your eye on these China stocks, if you keep your eye on the news coming out of China for when they do stop printing that money and stop giving it out for free, this move is going to unwind. And the massive sell-off that happens as a result is going to make you rich. So with that in mind, if you like the content, please give me a like. If you disagree with me, comment respectfully in the comment section, and subscribe, because I'm going to be coming out with more videos like this, because I'm going to try my best to impart my knowledge on you and try to, let's get rich together. Let's make this happen. Thank you. Bye.